Let's ring the doorbell. Daddy's home.
Oh shit! They just cut to black! What the fuck? Daddy's home and they cut to black! Wow, that is how you end a fucking show! Goosebumps, baby, that was badass! He rung the doorbell, Daddy's home, we cut to fucking black! What?! Wow, man, I tell you guys, after what we witnessed on Monday Night Raw, to get that SmackDown is exactly what I needed, especially today, because I was out all night filming something special, so I was not able to catch SmackDown live, and so I literally just caught it really early this morning, early Wednesday morning. I literally just finished it. And I was like, wow, that's cool at the end of SmackDown, man. Daddy's home, cut to black. And we go off the air. You guys hear me all the time talking about fading to black and building suspense for the next week. Building suspense in the storyline in the feud by fading to black with an epic storyline. Something epic just happened and we faded to black. I love that. Last night, we cut right to black after Samoa Joe rang that doorbell at AJ Styles' house, man. That was fucking so cool, man. Again, I just watched SmackDown now. I was not able to catch it last night, out filming all night. I apologize up front, guys. I am under the weather. You probably can hear it. You probably can see that I'm under the weather. Sick as fuck right now. So, I'm popping the pills, drinking the teas, doing the vitamin C drops, you name it, man. I'm trying to get amplified for my amplified Q&A tomorrow, my favorite video of the week. I don't want to cancel that, but I'm sick as fuck, guys. I am fucking under the weather. So, I don't know how long this video will be, how much I can touch on each subject. But I want to start out with the main event of the night, which was a contract signing. It wasn't a wrestling match. That was AJ Styles. And trust me, I'm going to get to R-Truth. I'm going to get to Becky Lynch. I'm going to get to Randy Orton, all that shit. But I want to start out with what I just watched, literally 5 minutes ago. And that was AJ Styles signing the contract for his Super Showdown no disqualification match with Samoa Joe. Paige is out at ringside as well, calling out Samoa Joe, but Samoa Joe is not answering his page. No pun intended. So Samoa Joe isn't answering the call. All of a sudden, he appears up on the Tron, and he's at AJ Styles' house. Now, that is not actually AJ Styles' house. Don't worry. He doesn't have a mailbox that says in huge letters, Styles. He doesn't have a white picket fence. That was not his house. Relax. He lives in a very nice gated community. But still, the illusion is exactly what we wanted, right? And I know Vince Russo is going to take credit for that, right? The home invasion angle. Samoa Joe went to AJ Styles' house. Vince Russo called that about a month ago, and he's going to take credit. But it was the Amplified Man who, when I started this channel 2 years ago almost, I have been clamoring for the home invasion angle. I have been saying that needs to come back. Like Austin and Brian Pillman. Like Randy Orton and Triple H. Those home invasion angles, they have to happen more often, man. That's when you get really to a personal feud and storyline. And if there's any better time, it's AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. So, we'll give you one, Vince Russo, who said that over a month ago. But it was really the Amplified Man who's been clamoring for that forever. I think we all pretty much can agree that those home invasion angles are the way to go. And we've all been clamoring that for a while now. So, Vince Russo, relax. It wasn't your idea, buddy. I'm pretty sure we've all been clamoring for it. And finally, Creative just fucking gave it to us, finally. But beggars can't be choosers. We finally got it. It took many years. But Samoa Joe winds up at AJ Styles' house. And he's cutting a promo on Styles from the house. And he's saying, are you quivering? Are you shivering? Are you in fear right now, AJ Styles? Good, because that's the feeling I want you to have at Super Showdown. When you're looking at me in the eyes and I'm about to take your championship. He said, taking the championship is just part of it. But when you steal it from me, this is now about consequences. And he says, what do I do, AJ? Do I just walk in? No, that would be rude. Maybe I'll just ring the doorbell. And AJ Styles is pleading. No, Joe, back up, dude. Dude, back up, please. What are you doing, dude? Please, stop. And Samoa Joe rings the doorbell. And he gives this fucking dastardly heel look as he's ringing the doorbell. We cut to black. SmackDown goes off the air. You cannot ask for better storytelling here. I always say, please, get the story and the feud out of the ring for a time or two. Not everything has to be in the middle of the ring like Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw is 3 fucking plus hours and everything is in the ring, so it's all redundant. It's all the same. Nothing feels special. SmackDown always tries to feel more special, even when they do interviews. Sometimes they have the platform up by the stage, like they used to do back in the 80s with Mean Gene Okerlund and Sean Mooney. They go to the home invasion angles. They do more backstage stuff. They go to the parking lot. SmackDown at least gives a fuck about the... SmackDown tries at least. Even if it falls flat on its face, it tries. AJ Styles was not the best person maybe in that angle to plead for Samoa Joe to back up, right? Not totally believable. But AJ Styles was never known to be the best actor. He's just one of the best wrestlers on the planet. We'll take it. Samoa Joe, he played that off perfectly. They took this to the house of AJ and Wendy. The doorbell was rang. What happens next? We don't know. We cut. We didn't even fade to black. We cut. Wondering what the fuck happened. Now you have to find out next week. Did he do like a fucking 10-year-old at Halloween, right? A fucking trick-or-treat type thing? Ring the doorbell and then haul ass off? Did Samoa Joe ring the doorbell and then go psych and take off? Wendy opens the door and Samoa Joe's fucking ass is running down the street. Wendy's like, Joe? Or did he? Right? Is there going to be footage of Wendy answering the door and it's Samoa Joe? Is Samoa Joe going to cut a promo on Wendy? Is Wendy going to scream, call the cops? Are we going to see footage of that? You don't know. But it's badass. It was fucking epic to watch that. Again, sick as fuck, sick as a fucking dog. The big dog! The big dog! Even with no fucking... Can't even feel my fucking throat. Nose is stuffed, my head is about to fucking burst, and I'm still gonna give you the big dog! That's what I do for my people, man. I tell you, this is right up there with Bret the Hitman Hart wrestling with 104, 105 degree fever. This is right up there with Kurt Angle wrestling with a broken frickin' neck. The Amplified Man is cutting a video sick as fuck. That's right. This is fucking historical. This is legendary what I'm doing right now. Damn it. So, we find out now what happens next week. But for that, to witness that, for SmackDown to take it out of the ring and make it that personal and make the feud that epic, man, so fucking good to see. It was pulled off great. Even though AJ Styles wasn't the most believable in that role, it doesn't fucking matter. The feud is believable. The storyline is more than realistic because Samoa Joe is that realistic, believable character in the storyline. He can make anything, not just realistic, but he can touch anything and make that fucking gold. And that's what he did last night on SmackDown. I know it seems like I'm going a little long on this, but guys, I cannot rave about this anymore. I'm so happy of how that came about, but I'm more happy that they actually got creative and did that. When you watch Monday Night Raw, and that's probably a big reason why I'm sick right now and under the weather. They say it's the flu. I say fuck that. I think it's fucking Raw syndrome. I think I got the Raw syndrome flu. That's just Monday Night Raw making us all sick to our fucking stomachs, sick in our fucking dome pieces. Monday Night Raw, I blame for making the Amplified Man sick. The flu. No, it's Raw. You go to the doctor now and they say it's the flu. No, you say no. Can you check for other symptoms? Because I don't think this is the flu. I think this is Monday Night Raw. He may look at you a little weird, but you say no. You do your research, doc. This sounds like Raw syndrome. Raw-nitis. So anyway, that was how SmackDown goes off the air last night. I couldn't have been more fucking like in shock and awe because I just, coming off of shitty booking and shitty wrestling the night before on Monday Night Raw, a shitty show, I should say. I wasn't, even though SmackDown has been better than Raw, I wasn't expecting that much. I really wasn't. And again, I'm just under the weather. So I'm watching this show and I'm expecting to just be like a fucking zombie watching this the whole time. But no, not only was the ending captivating, from the time I pressed play on that fucking Hulu, on that Roku, whatever the fuck system I have to watch SmackDown the morning after, I pressed fucking play on that son of a bitch like a zombie, and I was instantly hooked from the very first segment with TruTV. TruTV, man, hopefully this becomes a thing. I mean, I love The Miz, I love Miz TV, but hopefully TruTV can stay a thing. I know Miz actually defeated R-Truth for the rights to the show, but you could easily get Truth back his own show. I'm sure, man, because that was definitely a hit last night. R-Truth starts off SmackDown with Carmella. Carmella's out there. Wow, man, she changed her hair color. Fucking, hey, man, Carmella is fucking, I don't know if she's money, but Carmella is hot as fuck. I can tell you that much. That's fucking, that Carmella is even more stunning than old Carmella, and old Carmella was nothing to brush aside. Anyway, I know. Can't talk about looks, BC, on wrestling reviews. Remember Dave Meltzer and Peyton Royce? What was I thinking? Thinking a female is attractive. The fucking balls, the cojones, the how you doings of me. But, I love Corey Graves last night, by the way. I'll get to that in Mandy Rose, man. But Corey Graves, man, he keeps it real. He's the closest thing to Attitude Era Jerry Lawler that we have. Hopefully I'll remember to touch up on that later. Anyway, my train of thoughts all over the place, guys. I apologize. That's what happens when I'm under the weather. But R-Truth and Carmella start off SmackDown with the TV show TruTV. That's what it is. He basically took the Miz's show, right? It even started off with the Miz's music, which was hilarious. And their guest is Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan comes out. R-Truth asks Daniel Bryan a question. And in the middle of the question, Carmella's like, wait, it's time, Truth. And Truth is like, it's time? And she's like, yup. Music starts busting out. It's a dance break. Carmella and R-Truth just bust out and dance. Daniel Bryan is cracking up. The fans don't know what the fuck to think. I'm sick as fuck and I'm fucking LOLing myself here. I mean, how can you not fucking... It's hilarious. R-Truth anyway is fucking hilarious. He's doing a dance break with fucking Carmella in front of Daniel Bryan who's cracking up. Of course that's funny. Then they fucking get their composure back. They actually ask Daniel Bryan a legit question. Pretty thorough too for R-Truth. Daniel Bryan asks it. And while Daniel Bryan is in Daniel Bryan actually answered the whole question. No, probably mid-question, I would say. That's when The Miz interrupts. So either mid-question or maybe he just finished. But The Miz ends up coming out to interrupt. He's got a war to settle with Daniel Bryan, obviously at Super Showdown, but he's also kind of pissed off at R-Truth because he stole his show. So the first thing Miz says is, Truth, what are you doing? And R-Truth is like, well, when I beat you last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever the fuck it was, R-Truth is like, you didn't have a championship, so I just took your show. Miz is like, Truth, you're an idiot. And R-Truth goes, I'm an idiot with a talk show. So Miz is all pissed off. Miz is like, give it back now. It's my show. He cuts a good promo. Miz always cuts a good promo on Daniel Bryan. He cuts another really good promo on Daniel Bryan last night again, too. So that furthers Daniel Bryan and Miz, which is one of the marquee matches that I'm looking forward to at Super Showdown, just like I was at SummerSlam. And even though they had their wives tagging up with them at Hell in a Cell, I was still looking forward to that as well. And I will be looking forward to their third match at the Super Showdown, Melbourne, Australia. So that was a really good promo by The Miz. Two birds with one stone. He's trying to shoot off at Daniel Bryan, and he's shooting off at R-Truth, saying, give me my show back. And R-Truth is like, no, in fact, you're banned from TruTV from here on out. I think he even said you're abandoned. I think he meant banned, but he said abandoned. It was hilarious. So Miz had a fucking fit, obviously. Miz ends up storming off because while Miz is actually trying to get his show back, he's screaming at R-Truth. Carmella calls for another dance break. So the music starts playing, the lights are dimmed, and there they go. They're fucking dance breaking again. Miz goes to the back. They actually have a camera backstage. He goes up to Paige and demands that Paige do something about it. And Paige is like, you want to do something about it? R-Truth had a good idea. Why don't you go wrestle him for it? Winner gets the show. Go ahead. Goodbye. Bye. Miz didn't want to go. Paige is like, bye. You can go now. Miz is like, got this disgruntled look on his face. Miz comes back out like a kid who just lost his fucking favorite teddy bear, right? He's fucking coming out sulking as the dance party is still going on. Daniel Bryan is still out there as well. And we set up a match. R-Truth versus The Miz. That was the whole first segment. I fucking loved it. There were so many moving parts here. See, that is a fun and interesting first segment, guys. Not just a guy coming out talking some shit, another guy coming out talking their shit, and then all of a sudden the match is made. No, you have moving parts. There's comedy, but there's seriousness. There's, you're taking it out of the ring. You're going backstage. When Miz went out there with Paige, and he's backstage with Paige saying, do something about it. And Paige is like, you go and handle it. You go back to the ringside area. You had all these moving parts. I loved it. And then that set up a pretty fun match for the beginning of SmackDown. Miz and R-Truth. I love this. I love this pairing, first of all, of R-Truth and Carmella, by the way. I think we could see a lot more fun shit from them. Definitely. So that's definitely going to be cool to see them. At first, I was like, what the fuck are they doing, Carmella and Truth? But then I was kind of like, this could work. So I like that. I love the seriousness between Daniel Bryan and The Miz. And then I love the little back and forth between Paige and Miz. And then I love the Miz coming back out and the match is set. Miz and R-Truth. When it was all said and done, Daniel Bryan was on commentary. There was a skull-crushing finale after some it kicks. Yes, / it kicks. Skull-crushing finale, but Miz didn't go for the pin. He looks at Daniel Bryan. He starts bragging, antagonizing. And he actually beats R-Truth with the running knee. Daniel Bryan's running knee. It actually wasn't bad either from The Miz. Miz put it all in there. He lands flat on his fucking back. Knocks R-Truth flat on his back. He's down and out. 1, 2, 3. The Miz gets a big victory. Almost the second the referee counted 3, Daniel Bryan was already in the ring. Miz had to roll out. So Miz ran to the back kinda. He backpedaled. But he was pretty fucking happy. That was a big victory for The Miz in front of Daniel Bryan. I'm sure he loved that. So the whole first couple of segments, the whole TruTV leading into that first match, SmackDown was off to a banging start, and instead of watching it like a zombie, which I thought I was going to be watching it as, after coming off of a fucking horrible Monday Night Raw, being under the weather like I am, no. I was actually up on my fucking edge of my seat like, fuck. This is good. This is good television. This is good entertainment. I'm being entertained. This is a good wrestling show so far. Could they keep the momentum going? You bet your ass they could. So you have a good beginning of SmackDown. You have a really good ending to SmackDown. What about the middle? What about the bulk of the show? You're damn right, we got stories that are escalating there too. Just a couple of weeks ago, Rusev Day was dead to me, right? They were DOA anyway to me, dead on arrival. Rusev Day I was never a fan of. I didn't like the Aiden English and Rusev pairing. But I like the fact that they were together for enough months that when they finally did a split, if done correctly, this could be a pretty good feud going forward. It's better than I ever could have imagined. The addition of Lana and now being played intricately into this storyline is fucking perfect. Rusev came out to the middle of the ring last night with Lana. They called out Aiden English. Aiden obliges and he comes out and he starts showing some video packages. He starts saying, you know what? This is all her fault, Rusev. We were fine when it was just us. Don't believe me? Take a look. Video package comes back to Aiden English. He says, this all fell apart when she entered the picture, when she came back into your professional life. Don't believe me? Take a look. Another video package. And it was all well done because you guys know I hate when wrestlers come out and they start dictating the video packages. It's not spontaneous to me. It's not authentic. You know, there's nothing that says, oh, this is coming from their heart. There's a video package that's already made. He already went to the production truck and said, listen, I'm going to say, play this footage. That's not impactful for me. I hate when wrestlers do that. But in this type of situation, in that segment, it worked perfectly. And Aiden English is somebody who would have this well thought out in advance. Aiden English is the type of character that would go to the production truck and tell them, I want you to play these packages when I tell you to. So it definitely worked, and these video packages did help tell the story and help the narrative that Aiden English is trying to push on Rusev. And Lana's basically, she's screaming out, shut up, shut up. What makes you think Rusev is going to believe you after what you did, this and that? And Aiden English just calls Lana out and says, oh, so you're the truthful one, right? You're the honest one? You were going to go and tell Rusev what I said last week, right? But were you going to tell him about that night in Milwaukee? That just flipped the pro wrestling world upside down, guys. The pro wrestling world now is all talking about Milwaukee. We don't even know why we're talking about Milwaukee. We don't know if this is a real thing, if this is really part of the storyline. Is this Aiden English just mentioning in a fucking town, but there is nothing. He's just trying to get under the skin of Rusev. Or is there actual video footage of something happening between Aiden English and Lana in Milwaukee? Because Aiden English backstage, he said he's got video evidence that something took place in Milwaukee between him and Lana. And he said he's going to show it next week on SmackDown. If that's not building a storyline, I don't know what is. That is huge. That is what you want to... It's those seeds that need to be planted to build, to grow a storyline. You can't grow these fucking storylines unless you plant the seeds to grow them. These are perfect. Perfectly planted. I felt that segment was fucking awesome. And it sets up something even more epic next week. And hopefully, if done correctly, that segment next week between Rusev, Lana, and Aiden English will set up something even more epic for the future. Aiden English and Rusev could be a damn good feud going forward for the next month or 2 months, if done correctly. I love that, man. And now we're all wondering what the fuck happened in Milwaukee. 2 epic fucking stories are being formed in one 2-hour show. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Joe goes to the house of AJ Styles, rings the doorbell. His wife is about to answer the door, and it cuts to black, and SmackDown goes off the air. What happened? Aiden English is saying something happened in Milwaukee, and you're not being truthful to Rusev. What is it? We don't know. He says you're going to have to wait till next week. This is huge. 2 big storylines forming. Raw, 3+ hours, has 0 good stories going. Nothing interests me in Raw. On Raw. Awesome job by Aiden English, Lana, and Rusev. I love where this is going. Again, a couple of weeks ago, I could give or take. I couldn't give a shit about Rusev, Aiden English, or fucking Lana. Now, it's one of the key fucking storylines, key feuds that I'm going to be keeping a keen eye and a keen focus on going forward, especially next week. I love that segment, guys. That wasn't the only thing, though, in the bulk of the show last night. Becky fucking Lynch at it again. I loved seeing Becky Lynch last night and what she did to Charlotte backstage. I always say, you gotta get away from the ring sometimes. Shake it up a little bit. Break it up a little bit. Get original, get creative. I don't care if you gotta go to the parking lot. I don't care if you gotta go to the streets. I don't care if you got to go to the local supermarket like Booker T and Stone Cold did to brawl it out. I don't care if you got to go to the local bar like John Bradshaw Layfield and Ron Simmons used to do. I don't care if you got to go to the house like Samoa Joe just did to AJ Styles, Austin did to Pillman, Triple H and Randy Orton. I don't care what you got to do, but if you stick backstage, I'm fine with that too, but get creative. There's so much you can do backstage. So get original, get creative, and do some epic shit. That's what they did last night, man. Charlotte was doing a photo shoot. And while she's getting these pictures taken, Becky Lynch jumps Charlotte, throws her into these photographer/electrical equipment boxes backstage next to the photography shoot. 3-4 times. Charlotte's fucking beat the fuck up. More boots to her back by Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch puts her foot on Charlotte's back, raises her championship up, and tells the photographer, take the picture of the chomp. That's right, take my picture, the picture of the chomp. I'm sorry, my Becky Lynch accent is horrible anyway, especially when I'm under the weather. But she's got the photographer taking a picture of the real champ. Belt in the air, foot on top of Charlotte after she just jumped Charlotte during a photo shoot backstage. Little things like that help make an awesome television show. An awesome professional wrestling television show. You got in-ring competition. You got a little bit of comedy. You got some serious shit going on. You got the big epic cliffhanger at the end with Joe and Styles. And now you add on some cool shit backstage. Charlotte's jumped in an original way, like you would not picture she'd get jumped on a photo shoot. But it happened. Because again, SmackDown Creative was on their A-game getting creative. I loved it, man. Later in the night, Becky Lynch defeated Lana. I still like Lana because she's improving in that ring every fucking time I see her. Nowhere in the realm of the top superstars, obviously, relax. But I'm seeing vast improvements, guys. And that's good to see. But obviously, Becky Lynch was going to win that fairly easy. Lana had some good offense, but Becky Lynch, when she had enough, she kicked it into high gear. That was it. You had the Bexploder, I want to call it. The Bexploder into the Disarmer, and Becky Lynch gets the victory. So a couple of good segments there with one of SmackDown's biggest superstars, Becky Lynch. She had a badass backstage segment with Charlotte. She wins in-ring competition against Lana. So a big night for Becky Lynch continues as well, and her momentum is flying at an all-time high. Also, if we want to stick with the women, Naomi and Asuka with their newly formed team, the Empress and Glow, I don't even know. I hate when WWE just takes two singles competitors, throws them together, puts a stupid name to them, and now all of a sudden they're a tag team. Doesn't work for me. You could try it with Bayley and Sasha. It did not fucking work. You could try it with Ember Moon and Nia Jax. It's not going to work. You could try it with Asuka and Naomi. It's not going to work. These are two singles competitors. They should be treated as such because they're damn good. And they can do and be such. But they're a tag team last night. They're taking on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. The Iconics were on commentary. And this is where I love Corey Graves, man. He's the closest thing to a Jerry Lawler during the Attitude Era that we have. Puppies! Puppies! Puppies, JR! Puppies! I used to love that shit, man. Now, obviously, Corey Graves isn't allowed to say that. But Corey Graves, every time Mandy Rose comes down to the ring, Corey Graves is like a 10-year-old kid who's about to just fucking lose his shit, literally and figuratively. You know what I mean? Corey Graves just has a fucking on-air orgasm every time he sees Mandy Rose. But I love that, man. You know what I mean? In today's professional wrestling, you can't just call a female professional wrestler fucking hot anymore. You can't call her gorgeous, beautiful, hot, sexy. Can't do it anymore. They're pro wrestlers and should be looked at and treated as just such. But women can look at the dudes and say all this shit about fucking Roman Reigns and this and that. But when we say anything good, a compliment, that they are beautiful, that they are sexy about a female, it's forbidden. It's frowned upon. But Corey Graves can get away with it once in a while, right? He throws the zingers in. He said one line last night. Well, first of all, when Mandy Rose came down the aisle, Corey Graves says, "How's my hair? How's my hair, Tom?" Just in case Mandy Rose looks at him, he wants to look his best. I love that. And then he says, this is, what's he say? He said, I'm so excited. I got the Iconics on commentary next to me and Mandy Rose in the ring. And who are the other girls, Tom? And Tom Phillips is like, that's Asuka and Naomi, Corey. So Corey Graves is like, I don't even care about everyone else. I got the Iconics next to me and I got Mandy Rose. I'm excited. This is fucking great. So he's like a kid in a candy store. He's like a 10-year-old kid who's fucking watching porn for the first time, right? I love it. It's little things like that on the commentary booth that I miss. Jerry Lawler just being over-the-top immature when a female would come out. I love that shit. You know, Bobby the Brain Heenan always coming up with an excuse every time a heel would do something heelish or a heel would lose. There'll always be some excuse that Bobby Heenan would come up with on commentary. We see shades of that with Corey Graves, and I fucking love that. So I did want to give a shout out to Corey Graves. So you guys know I'm high on him anyway. I gave him some shit on that whole Booker T thing with the Starbucks and Booker T calling out Corey Graves. Let me see you at Starbucks. But Corey Graves is just it's a blessing, man, to have him because he knows how to be a heel commentator in an age where Vince doesn't necessarily want a heel commentator. He just wants a storyteller. So Corey Graves actually kind of has to be kind of a face commentator because he's got to be kind of a storyteller too with Tom and with Michael Cole. But he knows when he can be that heel commentator, and that is so welcomed because it's needed in professional wrestling. We need those Jesse the Body Venturas. We need those Paul Heymans. We need those Jerry Lawlers. We need those Bobby the Brain Heenans. So that is a big epic shout out to Corey Graves. Naomi and Asuka end up taking the win over Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I believe it was Sonya Deville that got defeated for their team. Because I remember the Iconics. I think it was Peyton Royce going, "No, Sonya! No, Sonya!" They were fucking pissed at Sonya Deville for losing the match. And then Naomi and Asuka are going to take on Peyton Royce and Billie Kay at the Super Showdown. So that was all just for that. I mean, that was obviously the one throwaway from last night. Then you had Shinsuke Nakamura and Ty Dillinger. This would have been a throwaway if not for the ending of this match. So this match actually had a purpose. But during this match, I thought it was fast-paced because obviously they didn't have a lot of time anyway. Ty Dillinger was plucked from obscurity. I don't even know where they found him. Last I heard, he was in some fucking secluded cave over in fucking Ohio somewhere, right? Ty Dillinger was just lost. But apparently, he was lost and now found. They plucked him out of obscurity. They found him in that cave. They brought him back to SmackDown. So he is safe and sound. Ty Dillinger had a match on SmackDown. I know. I didn't know if I was just going to fucking just... If being under the weather was just fucking with my head, or was I really seeing Ty Dillinger on my SmackDown TV? Again, he was taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, the United States champion, right? The United States of Knock America. Is that what they call him? I don't fucking know. Everyone has a nickname these days. Again, fast pace because I can speak, man. Fast pace because they didn't have a lot of time, but I thought it was going good. The crowd wasn't behind it. The crowd started chanting for Mike Chioda. Mike Chioda chants the referee. So they were not into it. A minute later, they didn't have to worry about it because Randy Orton interfered. Randy Orton jumped Ty Dillinger. Randy Orton beat the shit out of Ty Dillinger, just like Orton was beating the shit out of Jeff Hardy the past couple of months. And Randy Orton goes backstage. Randy Orton was asked, why did you do that? I think it was, what's his name, Mike Rome? He asked Randy Orton, why'd you do that? Is that your next victim? And Randy Orton's like, no, that's not my next victim. Randy Orton just said, I think it's the whole 10 thing. It just pisses me off. I love that. Because what have I told you guys from day number 1? Even in NXT. 10 pisses me off. I cannot stand that. If people think that's going to be the next yes, then I just want to put my head through a concrete fucking wall. More than I do when I watch Raw, probably. Okay, maybe not that much. But I want to put my head through a concrete wall if that's what I'm going to put up with. Every time Ty Dillinger is out there, 10. It's stupid. The yes is cool. The 10 is bullshit. I love Randy Orton last night. His excuse? No, that's not even my next victim. I was just in the area, and to be honest, the 10 pisses me off. So I fucked him up. I love that shit, man. And Nakamura, he grabs his championship. He goes to walk away after Ty Dillinger is beat the fuck up. And Nakamura's like, fuck it. Might as well add insult to injury. And he gives him a fucking Kinshasa. Hits Ty Dillinger so hard, the back of Ty Dillinger's head smacks into the LED boards at ringside. So Ty Dillinger got beat up every which way. I'm sure Ty was thinking, I want to be back in my secluded cave in Ohio somewhere. Put me back in obscurity. What else, guys? Sheamus took on Big E. Now, the reason I like this is because Big E on his own is a dominant Big E. I love seeing Big E on his own, man. You know, we get kind of trapped in this whole New Day thing, and we all love the New Day, but we got to remember, Xavier Woods is good on his own. Kofi Kingston is good on his own. And Big E is damn good on his own. So it was cool to see Big E in a singles match with another powerhouse like Sheamus. Now, in the end, Sheamus actually took the victory, but I think because the ultimate payoff is going to be the New Day is going to beat the Bar at the Super Showdown. I don't believe the Bar is going to win that, and that's why you saw a big victory by Sheamus over Big E last night. But don't get it twisted and don't be fooled. Big E can hold championships on either roster. It just happens he ate the loss last night. But the bigger win for Big E last night was he got to have singles competition. I'll take that any day of the week, twice on Sunday. That was SmackDown, guys. A good bulk middle of the show, a kick-ass start to the show, and an epic fucking storytelling ending for SmackDown. We cut to black, and it went off the air, and we were all like, fuck. That motherfucker wasn't just calling the bluff of AJ Styles. He rang the doorbell. That motherfucker's going to sit there till Wendy answers. What the fuck happened? Thank you. That's all I can say to SmackDown. After what I had to fucking endure and go through on Monday. Again, probably what helped get me fucking sick in the first place was Monday Night Raw and that excruciating garbage. Coming from that, then going under the weather and feeling like shit, SmackDown once again comes through for the Amplified Man and puts on a dynamite wrestling show. 2 hours, a little bit of everything, and it ends up being a damn good show. Thank you, SmackDown. You restore faith in this fucking business and, more importantly, this company. At least for the Amplified Man. Because sometimes when I end Raw, I'm thinking there's no more hope for this company. And then SmackDown puts on a show like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, if they wanted to, they could get creative. I'm going to pop more pills, drink another fucking tea, pop 6 more vitamin C drops. I wish I could say I'm going to get some rest, but there's so much to do today, I can't. So, we'll see, man. Hopefully I'm better for tomorrow, guys. I really want to get an Amplified Q&A out to you guys tomorrow. So if you guys have any questions for the Amplified Man, drop them down below. I'll get to as many as I can, hopefully tomorrow. If not, it'll be out Friday, hopefully. Again, we don't know, man. I don't know how long Raw-itis, the Raw syndrome, I don't know how long this lasts, so we'll see. Drop your questions down below, though, and if I can get to them, I definitely will. Much love and respect to all my AMP unit out there. Hopefully you guys are going to do a lot better than I am today. Hopefully you guys are going to kick a lot more ass than I am today, but I'm going to hold my own. Don't worry about it. The Amplified Man for now, saying check you later.